Are we going to get into Steven Seagal, the most accomplished human being living today and possibly of all time? So many options. So many options, and we'll be trying to tackle all of them again with logic and reason at the forefront, seemingly going extinct everywhere else out there. Welcome, Jeff U1P. You know what we haven't talked about in a while? We haven't talked about shadow people in a while. Potential interdimensional entities known as shadow people. If you haven't checked out the Shadow People series, I have the most comprehensive, exhaustive examination in the shadow people phenomena. I need to do a few more episodes in that series. I have even more information on shadow people. So yeah, where does everybody want to start today? I'm kind of leaning Steven Seagal. We haven't talked about Seagal in at least one episode, right? Surely it must be at least one. Let's see what I got here.
And just try to take you down.
In my mind, it's sort of the essence of the form. That is to say, the idea of the form is to be able to deal with more than one attacker at a time. I mean, if you're dealing one-on-one, and certainly we train, that's how we train, but the idea is to finish your form ready for another attack. That is to say, finish in a balanced position. The reason for that is, I mean, O-Sensei was a product of sword culture, and sword culture was very seldom one-on-one. Sword culture was more often more than one attacker against a single opponent. So you have to put your forms together. That is to say, you have to blend with one attack coming at you, neutralize that attack, and then immediately be prepared to deal with the next attacker.
Basically, you let go of everything that you think you know.
It's an exercise in freeing yourself up of thinking about all these things, of thinking about how your knee hurts, or how this last time this guy clubbed me from the side, or any of that.
If you think, it's too late. If you take the time to make a decision, it's too late. If you hang on to that and you stand in, you think you know, or in other words, your own arrogance or egotism, if you want to call it, if you stand in that, you'll get smashed. And that's the value of the randori, because basically when they says go, these are three guys that are one breath away from being in reality on the street. I mean,
look how legit Seagal is. I mean, wow, it's kind of crazy how many people think that this wouldn't work. But one of my biggest pieces of evidence for Seagal's greatness. So there's stories about everybody. I mean, people have stepped to Bruce Lee. Somebody jumped into Bruce Lee's yard and issued a challenge, and Bruce supposedly beat their face in. But nobody in the history of Seagal's nearly 8 decades of life has ever stepped to Seagal. There's the Gene LaBelle story, which we've gone over that extensively, where Seagal allowed Gene LaBelle to put him in a choke. You know, that's not somebody stepping to him. Like, Gene didn't actually get in Seagal's face. Too cowardly. That fraud was too cowardly to do that. Nobody's ever gotten into his face, attempted to swing on him. Nobody's ever swung on Seagal. People have swung on Jean-Claude Van Damme. People have swung on literally everybody out there except Seagal. I mean, that's crazy. That's crazy. Jeff U1P says, I got Google AI to admit it's flat. I was just hammering the fact that IR Chicago photo wasn't manipulated or affected by refraction or bending. I've closed the window, but I think I can do it again. I took a couple of try in multiple days, not after each other, but some pauses. Yeah, AI is kind of weird. There needs to be like an unleashed AI, not like an intentionally crippled AI with like propagandized outputs. And so, I mean, I think there might actually be some. I mean, I could get into that a little more on Flat Earth Live if you want to get into Flat Earth and AI. Austin MP says, let Seagal try his jiu-jitsu in a small town. That's kind of funny, Austin. Well, Seagal doesn't really do jiu-jitsu. This is Aikido. And Seagal's main original style was actually Kyokushin Karate. A lot of goofs don't know that. Welcome, Run Boston Bear. Health Master Jedi.
There's been situations, I think, on the street that I would
I mean, look at all this fair use.
I would want rather than this.
I mean, it's just mind-boggling, mind-shocking, if you will. All the goofs out there that think Seagal's a fraud. And actually, people have stepped to Seagal when he was like a teenager, or maybe early 20s, on the mean streets of Japan. And apparently there were altercations. And, not a ton of stories. But supposedly, even a green Seagal handled himself quite well. Because, eventually he was teaching the Japanese. I mean, think about how insane that is. An American goes to Japan and ends up teaching Japanese people Aikido. The Japanese art of Aikido. Like, think about how good you have to be. But just basic physics. I mean, Seagal's speed, other than Bruce Lee, Seagal's speed is completely unrivaled. Now, pure power, I don't know. Maybe. Maybe there's guys that can hit harder. Probably are. But they're not faster. They're not faster.
You can't be thinking fear, not fear, anything. Because any thought that goes through your head, it's immediately visible in your body, physically.
It's a matter of relieving yourself of having to worry about anything, and being able to deal with whatever situation they can throw at you, whatever three minds and the dynamics of three people coming at you.
I mean, and what other martial art really trains multiple opponents to the extent that Aikido does? So, in the chat here, Austin MP says Chael versus Seagal would be bigger than Flair versus Hogan. Oh man, that would be excellent. But again, all Chael has to do is walk up to Steven Seagal and swing on him. Like, in the history of the world, in nearly 8 decades of life, approaching a century, nobody has swung on Steven Seagal. I mean, just think about how crazy that is. Like, you have Chuck Zito swinging on Jean-Claude Van Damme in a club. I mean, you have all these stories, particularly about martial arts stars being challenged. Bruce Lee got swung on and stepped to many times. You know, he had to destroy a lot of people in those situations. Nobody, absolutely nobody, swung on Steven Seagal. I mean, that's insane if you think about it. Like, imagine the aura Seagal must possess in person for literally every single other tough guy or wannabe tough guy to be too petrified to even get in his face or swung on him. Austin says, I've been swung on, but I talked some expletive beforehand. I don't know if Seagal's embrace it. Well, it doesn't really matter because all these people calling Seagal a fraud, like, think about the fame Like, if they could actually expose him as a fraud, like, everybody's all talk. The same thing happened with Bruce Lee. Like, people, I mean, Bruce Lee's must have been insane, and yet there were no shortage of goofs who wanted their fame and fortune by swinging on him, by attempting to defeat him. But nobody even tried against Seagal. Like, back when Seagal was in LA, like, he was at the parties and everything, like, so it's not like nobody ever ran into him. Like, there's a famous story about Jean-Claude Van Damme challenging Seagal to a fight at Sylvester Stallone's house. But apparently, yeah, they didn't actually fight, but all Jean-Claude has to do is swing on Seagal and the fight will commence. It's not that hard. So, yeah, I mean, I'm sure Van Damme, like, he didn't want to cheap shot him. But he could announce it. He's like, okay, we're fighting now, and then start punching, and then, you know, from 10 feet away, say, okay, we're going to fight right now. I'm coming at you right now. And then it's not a sucker punch. It's a fair fight. You announce, there's no sucker punch. So that's all Van Damme had to do to make the fight happen. But it didn't happen.
Full speed can do.
Rondori is your first opportunity to get a clue about the infinite number of ways to attack you, to grab you, to punch you, to kick you. And when I say that, I mean that they were free to do that. They could punch, grab, kick, spit, bite, whatever they wanted to do. Of course, on the other hand, you were allowed to do that too.
He didn't even care so much in the Rondori if you even did a technique. He didn't care what it was you had to do. Whatever it was, as far as he was concerned, that was it.
You just have to do.
And that's pretty legit training, like full contact, no holds barred in Seagal's Tenshin dojo. I mean, I don't know how many Aikido or any other McDojos, especially at that time, were going full contact, no holds barred kumites in training. I mean, Seagal's one of a kind.
And you have to do it very quickly.
The main thing is being there in the moment and dealing with nothing but what's there.
When you got more than one person coming at you, and they are all coming at you with the same intent, and simultaneously, you don't want to get captured, and you certainly don't want to be taken to the ground.
In that instant, he wants you to think, this is life and death. These guys are going to kill you. If they get you, you're dead.
Once they hit you, I mean, you realize this is for real. And it gives you an opportunity to understand.
Look at all this fair use going on with the Seagal footage. Jeff U1P says, Seagal is able to make you hesitate just with his body language. If he sees you want to kick, maybe he moves toward you so your brain knows a kick is useless if it is too close. Now, the main point is, like, all these goofs talked all this trash. Like, Michael Jai White was talking a bunch of trash, and they worked on exit wounds together. That was, in my opinion, Seagal's last great film. Exit Wounds, also starring the one and only DMX. Haven't checked out the DMX podcast? Check that out, the most comprehensive and exhaustive podcast on the DMX conspiracy. But yeah, Michael Jai White, all he had to do, and he could have waited until the last day of filming, right? You don't want to injure the star, you know, like obviously. When all the filming is done, they got the last take. Just get in Seagal's face and shove him. See what happens. You know, no sucker punch. Just say, we're fighting now, and engage. And then Seagal could have told all the stories about how he destroyed Steven Seagal. Or Michael Jai White could have told all the stories about how he destroyed Seagal. But everybody knows Michael Jai White was too cowardly to actually step to Seagal. He could only talk his trash after the fact. So the younger, more muscular, supposedly, according to many goofs, Michael Jai White is pretty legit. Austin MP says Seagal would probably KO Jai White. I mean, it would just be broken wrist and then the ridge hand, the clothesline. I mean, I don't know how anybody stops that. With somebody as physical as Seagal. Like, look, a lot of Aikido practitioners, they're not Seagal. They don't have the Kyokushin karate training. They don't have the speed. They don't have the power. They don't have the technique. So for many, Aikido probably is not the best art for them, especially not, you know, in a street fight or whatever, unless they're at a certain level. But that's kind of the same for everything. Like, If you go to a Taekwondomic dojo and get a black belt, that's not going to help you much in the street against a more powerful, experienced, nothing to lose meth head who's murdered people every other Tuesday. It might not help you. Like, you have to be at a certain level, and a McDojo black belt is not that level. It's not that level.
And what letting go is all about.
The world doesn't change for anybody. I don't care if you're a woman, I don't care if you're a baby. The world doesn't change. The evil doesn't change out there. All those things that we have to face don't change. Okay? The only way we can teach anybody is by being real. Alright? If he can stand up, that's good. If he falls, we'll make him stand up again and again and again. Alright? There's no favorites in the dojo, there's no women, there's no men, there's no old people, there's no young people. You come up for Shodan, everything is the same.
I think that Sensei, you know, as an Anglo, I think that in order to be treated as an equal, my understanding is that he actually had to be better. I think that there were people that came in and challenged him.
He didn't have to be tough, he just was.
You don't get to deal with the...
So yeah, supposedly there are a few stories about him being challenged in Japan again in his younger days. I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about like post-film career when people are trying to expose him as a fraud. South to West in the chat saying, when we lost Seagal to Russia, our country suffered a serious defeat. Yeah, I mean, I bring this up all the time when we're talking about Seagal, and it's particularly the border. Because let's look at the stats here. Let's look at the receipts. Because Steven Seagal, not only a sheriff's deputy, but worked as border patrol. Now look at the, let's look at the border crossings before and after Seagal's on. So this is the border encounters here. So Steven Seagal on the border, but he leaves around 2017, he moves to Russia. And look at that. As soon as he leaves, look at the skyrocket once Seagal's no longer on the border. Like, look at this precipitous drop from 2016, from the middle of 16 to 17. That's when Seagal was on the border. And then he leaves, and all of a sudden, border crosses skyrocket. I mean, because what kind of cartel member wants to tangle with Seagal? Like, can you imagine encountering Seagal? Like, you're done. You're done for. Like, I can't imagine a lot of... And don't forget, Steven Seagal single-handedly took down the mafia in North America when he testified in open court with no bodyguards, no witness protection. He testified in open court against Nassau and the modern mafia, and because they were active in New York, they were active in Hollywood, and he testified in open court, and then all of a sudden, so that was around 2000, right? And all of a sudden, the mafia loses its influence and stranglehold on America and Canada. Because, I mean, and we don't even know what else he was... I mean, he doesn't really brag about any of this stuff. I had to go digging for all these receipts. Like, who knows how much he weakened the cartels in Mexico by just being on the border. Perhaps I need to look into that more for the next Seagal series episode.
Man, to start with, you got to prove yourself against his students first.
I had no idea what he was doing.
He's very fast. Like lightning.
You'd sit there and you'd watch him do a technique, and he did it so fast that I had no idea what he just did. what did he do? It was too fast. I couldn't see it. And then he did these great flips and different kinds of falls. And then I saw everybody else doing it. And they didn't do it anything like the way he did it.
Steven Seagal, truly unrivaled. Truly unrivaled. I mean, this is just incredible stuff. Incredible stuff here. I mean, just how effortlessly he's just throwing carcasses. I mean, imagine if he actually wanted to break all these guys' arms and necks. Like, it would have happened. And don't forget, he broke Sean Connery's wrist. He probably wasn't even trying. He probably assumed Connery, being a rather large guy, had a certain level of strength, but he didn't. Like, if he had treated Connery as like a little girl, he probably could have prevented breaking the wrist. But, yeah. Man, look at the incredible speed, technique, and power of Seagal. I mean, other than Bruce, I just don't know. I do not know who could even give Seagal a challenge. I mean, who remembers that training video where he's just like manhandling Alex Pereira? Lyoto Machida, Anderson Silva. I mean, he's just decimating them like redheaded stepchildren. I mean, it's just incredible. Absolutely incredible. South to West says, the way Seagal was treated by Saturday Night Live was criminal, but he remained professional through the entire show. I think that was one of the funniest Saturday Night Lives ever. CJ says, Seagal tried getting a record deal with my best friend's dad. Did he really, CJ? He already has a record deal, though. You mean before or after his record? Because doesn't he have 2 albums out? Incredible musician, again. One of the most accomplished human beings alive today. Master of all trades, jack of none. Austin MP says, Anderson Silva's rib probably was hurt because it's inside the body of a coward. You should watch that clip. Chael throws mad shade at Silva and Seagal. I forgot about that one. We need to do a Chael Sonnen deep dive at some point. Now, I want to get into Seagal's brilliant screenwriting. Let's look at this clip from some of his movies. Just absolutely brilliant screenwriting. Give me a second here. YouTube's being weird. Alright, who's ready for some more fair use here? Look at these fair use clips from the one and only Steven Seagal.
Restaurant and I had to eat something fast. I ordered me some chicken. They gave me alligator ass.
Anybody see Richie?
Fuck you. Anybody know why Richie did Bobby Lupo?
I mean, nobody delivers lines like Steven Seagal. Like, just the nonchalance. One of my favorite things about watching Steven Seagal movies is just his expressions while he's breaking necks, shooting people's faces off. It's just an average Tuesday. I mean, there's just no concern or regard of any kind. He almost looks bored half the time.
Are you really as good as they all say you are?
Every once in a while. But it might could be an illusion. Real fucked up, kind of bizarre combination of monkey shit.
So let me go. Just let me go on by, or I'll fuck you up ugly.
I feel like I'm talking to a retarded child. I must be a dumb motherfucker or something because I keep putting my money in these banks. And the only reason why I did that, because one of my most trusted employees told me that was the safe place to put my motherfucking money. I got a lot of money. I'm gonna take you to the bank, Senator Trent. To the blood bank.
Let me tell you something. I just got out of prison for something I didn't do. And before that, I used to, study real hard and learned all kinds of different ways to kill motherfuckers just like you.
What you mean, we, white boy? Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Because now, I will snatch every motherfucker birthday.
Yo, fuck nuts!
I look at it, it's like this fish. People saying, well, I shouldn't eat the fish because the fish is, an important sentient being, and that's true.
Excuse me, sir. I have some news.
Yeah, now you owe me some good pussy. And you know that I know that this is all a result of you fucking me. This is the fucking come to Jesus moment.
I mean, just the versatility of this man. Just the versatility of language. I mean, this is a reincarnated Lama endorsed by the Dalai Lama. This is a Buddhist, a spiritual master who can deliver ghetto lines like nobody's business.
And I was not born on a fucking turnip truck, man. And I was not born at night. I was born in a bright fucking sunny day, man, and I've been doing this for a long time.
I want you to take me someplace where I can find some drugs and some women.
Oh man, this guy's hilarious. This guy's hilarious. South to West says, at heart, Seagal's actually a sensitive musician artist. The martial arts thing is a secondary thing. South to West says, people tried to copy his trademark squint, but no one can copy him. Or his whispers. People can't really copy his whispers very well. CJ says, Warner Strategic Marketing and Hypertension Music distributed his album. Seagal used his Hollywood clout and notoriously aggressive, intimidating persona to bully his way into the deals. Are you sure about that? Or was he just taking what was rightfully his based on his musical ability as one of the greatest musicians in the history of the world?
15 motherfuckers in there with guns, and you know it. This intel is fucked up. But before we stick our dick in anything, we're gonna sneak up and take a good look before we commit. Here's the dead enemies and live friends and all y'all motherfuckers going home.
Roger that.
Let me tack up.
Give me a shirt and a coat from one of those dead guys right away. Quickly!
Quickly. He's even got his own, original inflections and all different words. I mean, what a master. What a master of the craft. CJ says, 1997, a Tibetan Lama recognized Seagal as a reincarnated 7th century master. Critics claim Seagal's massive donations bought the title, which he used to demand spiritual reverence. Well, of course, critics would claim that, but if you actually listen to my Seagal series, CJ, I actually examined all of that. they're not allowed to take any kind of money or donations or anything. So, and there's quite a long history of him visiting Tibet, and also I went over like a whole bunch of philanthropic missions Seagal has gone on. I mean, he's been to Africa a bunch of times, and you know, he never even talks about it. And I brought all the receipts, all the photos, everything. And you know, he's been doing that since the 90s. So yeah, all these claims from his from all these goof critics that are just jealous of all of his success in so many different fields of endeavor, unlike anybody else. Of course, they're going to claim he bought his way into being recognized, but that honor was brought to him. He didn't demand it, and we actually went over which reincarnated master he was and all of that, which is all very interesting. Jeff U1P says, I've seen all the debunking. It was a smear campaign. Yeah. Well, notice the campaign didn't start until Seagal went on Piers Morgan in 2017 and blew the whistle on the Illuminati. He was also the first guy to blow the whistle in the media against CIA drug smuggling and drug trafficking in Above the Law, which was, yeah, that was pretty crazy. That was before it hit all the newspapers. So Seagal's been a whistleblower for a very long time as well, but the smear campaign and all of the Me Too allegations, none of that came forward until his interview on Piers Morgan in 2017. We went over all of the timeline on the propaganda smear campaign against Seagal, where you had random comedians coming out of the woodwork talking about Seagal, who hasn't even made a theatrical release in over a decade. And they all started talking about him randomly, all at the same time, though. Like the coordinated smear campaign. CJ says, extorted by the Gambino crime family, Seagal testified in federal court about the mob threats. He claimed he wasn't afraid of the mafia because he possessed mystical powers for safety, which he clearly did. I mean, he didn't even go into witness protection. No bodyguards, nothing. So yeah, CJ, if you haven't listened to my Seagal series, I go over all the receipts on all of the claims by Seagal. Seagal actually has, he has 3 citizenships, not just Russia. I went over that too. He's actually a citizen of 3 countries. He's a Serbian citizen as well, because he trained their special forces as well. And Russian. So, yeah. Quite the... I mean, there's nobody more accomplished living today than Seagal in multiple fields of endeavor. CJ says, I'll have to listen to it. Yeah, I've seen a lot of stuff about him from different angles. It's pretty true. Yeah, I have 30 hours of receipts for every single Seagal claim that people say is BS, and I went over them point by point and drowned all the haters in receipts. And I even uncovered a ton of other things that Seagal has done that he hasn't even mentioned or bragged about. Like, he's so humble. Some people think he's not humble, but when you have that many accomplishments, just making matter-of-fact statements about them will appear to some egotistic, but he actually downplays all of his abilities and accomplishments. Jeff U1P says, Krokop is Serbian also, right? Krokop is Croatian. That's why they call him Krokop. Croatian. There were some allegations regarding the Serbian war, but I wonder if he's actually ever done like a genetic test, because Serbia, Yugoslavia, officially he's Croatian. But it's actually kind of interesting because Fedor Emelianenko is actually Ukrainian. and he's buddy-buddy with Putin and identifies as Russian, but Emelianenko is Ukrainian by blood. But Krokop appears to be Croatian. That's kind of weird. They still list him as Russian. Like I'm on Fader's wiki. They list him as Russian, but he's Ukrainian. That's so weird. Because he was born in Ukraine. He was born in Rubizny in the Donbass. And his name is Ukraine. Emelianenko is a Ukrainian name. So yeah, a lot of political stuff going on there. It's always so fascinating on how like people politicize their ethnicity and background or deny their true background because of political connections. So yeah, but let's finish this hilarity here.
Maybe I'll survive. Maybe I'll get lucky. Maybe not. It's like a monkey trying to fuck a football now, really. This whole thing, it's just a fucking mess. Back when you was young, dumb, and full of cum and had a fucking full head of hair and you were about 50 pounds lighter. You need to talk to me. You need to listen to what I say, when I say, how I say, and if you don't, I will leave you here to get eaten by the fucking jackals who are coming soon. Okay?
I mean, Seagal is just the incredible thespianism of Seagal. It's absolutely incredible. Now, he hasn't demonstrated the range of Alex Jones. I mean, who am I to say that he cannot? All we know is that he has not. CJ says, I tell people Ukraine is actually Russia just to make them mad. Jeff UMP says Ukraine is also Russia. Well, not really. So, okay. So before the Soviet Union, though, so Ukraine actually maybe I should do a podcast on this. Ukraine supposedly predates Russia. So the Ukrainian language and all of their cultural history actually predates Russian history. So that's really interesting because the Soviet Union obviously took dominion over many different republics and nations, like all the Turkmenistans and the Tajikistans and the Kazakhstans and the Kyrgyzstan or whatever. Those are not Russian nations. And we're not going to get into Tartaria here, but let's keep it to the official narrative just to keep this simple. But yeah, Soviet Union is not Russia. Russia is Russia. So those other nations, including the area of Ukraine, and Ukraine specific, because those other nations, I'm not sure about the ages of those other nations and cultures, but Ukraine specifically is actually older than Russia. So the Ukrainian language is older, the Ukrainian culture is older, and supposedly Russia was actually kind of like an offshoot of Ukrainian culture. So yeah, it's all quite fascinating. All quite fascinating. Perhaps a deep dive will be in order. But yeah, all of that is very, very interesting stuff. But yeah, so saying that Ukraine is Russia is almost like backwards because Ukraine was first. CJ says, yeah, I've always been extremely fascinated with Russia. I study people from Russia every day on Bigo Live. CJ says, Vladimir Putin explained the history for like 2 hours when he was at the White House on TV. Yeah, I'm not sure. So in Russia, they apparently, because I've talked to people from both Russia and Ukraine, it's kind of like in the U.S., like when two countries are at war, they learn different histories, right? So in Russia, I don't think they actually learn or publicize that Ukraine was first, but in Ukraine they do. So there's a lot of that going on. So like like in Russia, you don't learn, supposedly in Russian school, you don't learn that Ukraine was first and the Ukrainian culture was first. And they definitely don't learn about all of the different massacres by Russia and all that stuff. So kind of like how in the U.S., they don't, they're not going to teach a bunch of stuff where the U.S., like if you're in Vietnam, you're learning different things about the Vietnam War than in the U.S. Maybe not as much now, but definitely decades ago, etc.
Nice to finally meet you, neighbor.
Nice to meet you. You meet with her tonight? I got to clean up my house after that neighbor's child came and dirtied it up, and then, how about if I can meet with her tomorrow? I'll arrange that for you. Cool. All right. All right. And then I'm gonna take this, and I'm gonna fuck you up ugly.
There he is. Man, and Seagal does have creative control on most of these, so he might either... He definitely has script influence. He works on the scripts and stories too, but his dialogue genius is just unrivaled here.
No! I love the fuck out of cookies.
I don't think anybody doubts that, Mr. Seagal. I don't think anybody doubts that.
My family has been in business for a while. I think you should try us.
Well, volume. How about volume? You got a lot of product?
You know what you want.
All right, babe. I don't mind if everybody dies.
Wow, that was some of the coldest delivery I have ever seen. Oh man, I totally forgot about that one. Wow, that is ice cold, Seagal. Ice cold. Welcome, Sarah Catherine.
But I will kill you really slowly. Everybody dies. I don't mind if everybody dies. I don't mind if everybody dies. I don't mind if everybody dies.
I mean, is he even acting there? That came off so genuine.
But I will kill you really slowly. I don't like to really talk too much about myself, but...
Alright, here's another one. We gotta go over one more Seagal. I gotta go over one more thing with Seagal. I don't know what's going on here.
Just understand.
You slapped him pretty well at one point, too. The crowd was like, oh, Steven.
Yeah, I just, you have to understand. That wasn't me. He's dying. He's severely hurt, maybe dead. And I said, you will find a projectile in him. You'll find a bullet in him. And they said, that can't be. You're crazy. And I said, you will find a bullet in him. And they called me in the morning. They said, you're amazing. And I said, why? And they said, there was a bullet in him.
Look at all this fair use going on. People say he can't kick. I mean, what is he, like 70 here? Still doing kicks to the chest?
Move Jaya. You and your men still near point bed.
And we went over how many languages. This guy speaks so many different languages.
Yeah. Well, actually, I started studying karate at a very young age. I sort of lied about my age and got a job washing dishes at a restaurant. I think it was called the Wagon Wheel or something like that. Came to Asia quite a while back and fell in love with this place. And there was a cook there, because back then in America you didn't really have dojos around. One of the cooks there was a guy called Sakamoto Sensei, and he was a Shotokan guy and an Okinawan Shorin guy. And he saw that when I was washing the dishes and moving around that I moved very fast, and it would break my heart to kill you. I want these two Furangs dead, and I don't want them dead today.
And all the people hating on Seagal, like, show me another giant fat man in their 70s who's doing what Seagal does. Like, let's even put the whole history of Seagal aside, like how good he was in his prime and all of that. How many big fat guys in their 70s are doing movie fight scenes? I mean, I can't think of any.
This is called Rosability Long Visits. They did ask me to do a screen test, and I did. And they said, man, you know, this guy has got so much, you know, going on. He's got the charisma, he's got the look, he's got the action. Well, that puts me at a disadvantage because you're a master of the knives and the swords. Maybe I'll survive. Maybe I will get lucky.
Now that blonde's acting and this guy getting shot, now their acting is nothing to write home about. Their thespianism is not impressive in any way. But Seagal's able to keep a straight face through all of this. I mean, that's impressive. That is impressive. Is Seagal just sniping random civilians like GTA style? That's kind of weird. He's just like sniping everybody on the street. Oh man.
I still love my country. I still love my family, even though they're gone. 270 caliber is a very, very fast round. It's like a monkey trying to fuck a football now, really. This whole thing, it's just a fucking mess. And my wife was ripped away from my life. Yours left you on their own free will because you were such a son of a bitch.
And he just, you know, he didn't listen, but he really shouldn't have.
Is that important?
Yeah, Travis.
Well, there you have it. Oh.
Yes, Travis.
Oh, there. He's on the phone. Sensei Seagal is on the phone. Taking an important call there.
There was the
I like how he gave Ariel Helwani the appropriate amount of respect. That was appropriate. Helwani's such a goof. What a goof.
ridiculous question in there of have you ever had to use Aikido? And yeah, hundreds of times, you know, we've had to, you know, use this in the streets. Baby, you ain't had nothing to worry about. Ain't nobody gonna get your pension. So you're talking high level, high value targets. Wow. I'm interested. Tell me more.
Outside.
That was a far shot.
You drank, you lied, you cheated, and you fucked everything that moved, foreign and domestic. Really? Mm-hmm. Hey, who the fuck are you? Do you guys know this is my baby? Your baby? Everything is good. You know, we'll talk later about the world, but
I mean, just think about, like, who made the comment in the original Seagal stream? Somebody commented, his life is like a fairy tale. I mean, think about it. if you were writing a screenplay and you wrote about this martial arts master goes to Japan from America, okay, maybe. Then he runs his own dojo teaching Japanese in Japan. People are like, oh, no. That's beyond the willing suspension of disbelief. Then he comes back to America, becomes a movie star. Oh, no, that's definitely beyond the pale. Not only that, he's like one of the top grossing action stars ever. And then he gets involved with the mafia. Then he testifies against the mafia, all while being an expert high-level jazz and blues musician, while also doing fashion shows in India, while also being a philanthropist traveling the world, while also becoming a officially recognized reincarnated Lama by the Dalai Lama in Tibet. And people would just say, what is this crap? This would never happen. While also being an expert's marksman and being a sheriff's deputy. On patrol, putting away bad guys, driving tanks through Jesus' house, and then also becoming a border patrol agent, single-handedly maintaining the border and keeping away the cartels. That's not even getting into the fact about taking down the mafia in North America, testifying in open court with no security and not even needing to go into witness protection. Then you go to Russia and become a diplomat while being best friends with Vladimir Putin. I mean, this is just all so insane. While also being a whistleblower on the CIA, while also have CIA connections. I mean, this is the most insane, unbelievable life ever, and it just keeps stacking and stacking. And now he's also on the front lines in the Ukraine-Russia war, training Russian soldiers. Oh, man. I mean, this is just unbelievable. While also being a master of Mongolian dance, folk dancing. I mean, who would believe this? Who would believe this? I mean, who would believe this? While also being best friends with all of the greatest jazz blues musicians, while knowing almost everybody, all the Hollywood celebrities. I mean, we went over all of this. I mean, it's just absolutely insane. And I think Jackie Chan also trained at his dojo in Japan. I think we went over those receipts as well. Like, if you wrote a book or a movie about a person like this, how fast would you be laughed out of the room for unbelievability? Oh, man. Like, how fast? And everything I just said right there is like 1% of what he actually did. I mean, he was even boots on the ground after Hurricane Katrina. We got the receipts. I went over the photos and all that. I mean, it's just crazy. Absolutely crazy. And I think Seagal's friends with Trump, too, and Alex Jones.
What's wrong with you, man? You're slipping. But you can't check your six.
I need you by my side to watch my six.
This is your fire station. Maintain my six.
Copy.
You didn't count on my Native American brothers grabbing you.
Oh, speaking of Native Americans, we didn't even get into Seagal's Native American heritage and being recognized by Native American organizations. We went over all that as well. Like, where does this guy find the time?
I think that kind of behavior is an embarrassment to the human race.
But there's an interesting group of folks that, you know, are kind of some in the shadows and some in the light. And I was friends with all those guys for a long time.
Stay down, bitch. And now that Rivera's controlling it, he's trying to set up a new situation. He's trying to set up a new supply. They're not being straight with you.
In all the allegations of sexual harassment, you had a rape allegation against you, and I wonder how you deal with all that.
Yeah.
Hello, Steven Seagal.
Take the microphone.
That had to hurt. Actually, I forgot. We did go over one altercation that Steven Seagal had. Not to mention, Seagal did security. So apparently, he did security in Japan, and supposedly worked with the CIA in some capacity. Not directly employed, but supposedly he was some kind of independent contractor for the CIA. Which a lot of the coincidence theorists goofs hallucinate they would never work with somebody like Seagal. But wait a second, this is a guy in Japan, high-level martial arts guy, fluent in Japanese. I mean, that's an asset. He's got all the physical tools. He's got the linguistic tools. And if CIA agents trained at his dojo, that's what the rumor was. That there were CIA guys training at his dojo, and they kind of referred him and got him some kind of independent contracting jobs with the CIA. Or it was a combination of that or other guys that he did security with while he worked security in Japan. Then he also worked security in Hollywood. So, yeah, Scott Hawkins says a Steven Seagal biopic starring Bruce McGuire. Now, I don't think I have the girth for that. I definitely don't have the Aikido skills. I mean, I'm not too shabby, but no, I'm nowhere near the level of Steven Seagal. I don't... See, that's actually tricky. So for Bruce Lee, I mean, Jason Scott Lee did a decent job. Like, he got the physique. I mean, I wouldn't say close, but I guess as close as one could in a certain period of time to Bruce. He got some of the mannerisms. I don't know if... There's nobody out there that could even approach the skills of Seagal. I mean, how do you get a guy who's that good at Aikido and Kyokushin karate and judo and kenjutsu? Like, because he's got all these black belts. I mean, I don't know. Jeff U1P says, normal humans don't try and master so many stuff. He can write calligraphy, probably origami too. I can play chess a little. He is definitely reptile. He plays chess too. We got receipts on that as well. But a lot of people don't know. He's a fashionista icon. Like, he put on fashion shows in India as well. Like, this guy does it all. I mean, it's just so crazy. Like, the haters are so jealous. Like, even if he wasn't the absolute best at everything he does, which apparently he is, I mean, can you actually dispute, like, I guess since he doesn't compete at the like, he doesn't do competition marksmanship, like shooting, maybe he's not the best. I mean, I feel blasphemous even just saying that. But he also does, like, he also does bow and arrow on horseback. I mean, he never even bragged. I found receipts for that as well. Now, is he the best at the world at everything? Maybe, maybe not. Even if he's not, like, the proficiency at so many different fields of endeavor is incredible. CJ says they must have Steven Seagal derangement syndrome. Yeah, they clearly do. Like, even if he's, let's assume, like, just for the sake of argument, let's say he's mediocre at everything. Can you find a single other human that's mediocre, at least rises to the level of mediocre at so many different things? I mean, obviously he's not mediocre. I mean, he's pretty top in everything. Now, one could argue he's not the top, but do we have evidence against that? Like, has anybody actually outshot him in like a marksmanship competition? Has anybody defeated him in any martial, like, who has actually proved that? Maybe there's people that are better, but who's actually proven it? Do we have any receipt for someone being better at Steven Seagal at anything? Jeff UNP says, saw him light a match by firing a bullet just over the tip from plenty of feet. It was in the police. Yeah, we went over that on the series. That clip does get copyrighted, so I don't want to play it right now. But it is in the series. It's on the Seagal series here on MINDSHOCK. If you watch the series, we went over that clip. And it looks like he's not even trying also. Like, I mean, I'm actually kind of fascinated by his shooting bow and arrow, like archery, horseback archery, because there's photos of him doing that as well.
But I draw the line when it comes to killing innocent women and children. This is where we really, really have a big difference in opinion. Okay?
Championship belts because they've attributed that to me and me teaching.
Oh, and in my spiel, I forgot, also training UFC world champions to win fights. In my long spiel on the unbelievability of writing a story about Steven Seagal's life, man, it's crazy. Mr. 1-to-1 says, is he a flat earther though? I couldn't find him ever referencing flat earth. It would be curious, though.
Them, so.
You're an Arab. You're not Mexican.
You're out of practice, my old friend. I expected more from you.
Are you always armed?
Yes.
Right now, if I was to look around this room, would I find an arm of some sort that you've brought with you?
Yes.
He's so matter-of-fact and nonchalant with it. It's hilarious.
Who's the most legitimate Hollywood tough guy, in your opinion? You accept it, of course. Michael Jai White?
Can I laugh in your face?
Really?
Yes.
Thoughts on Jean-Claude Van Damme?
Can I laugh in your face? Do I think Michael is a tough guy? No. Do I think he's a martial artist? No. Do I think Jean-Claude's a tough guy or a martial artist? No.
That's where I saw Jean-Claude Van Damme. Is that true he got in a fight with you?
No. It'd be like me squashing an ant.
Right? I mean, he was like a champion somewhere, and right? I mean, you...
Well, I think that's a matter of opinion, that he was a champion anywhere.
And look at Seagal operating with the wrong information. I think this was, is this the only time Seagal was wrong about something? Because Jean-Claude Van Damme is a champion, but obviously he used the name Jean-Claude Van Varenberg. And then there was some goof reporter wrote a piece about it saying that he couldn't find any records of a Jean-Claude Van Damme. And then obviously since then, like a lot of photos and even one or two videos have appeared of Jean-Claude Van Damme winning titles, like a European title. And a few other titles, championship titles. So, yeah, Steven Seagal operating with the wrong information here. I think this might be the only time ever.
You know, there are an awful lot of people who say that that's not true.
Well, actually, technically that was true. A lot of people said it wasn't true. He said it was a matter of opinion. Well, technically it's not a matter of opinion, it's a matter of fact. Perhaps at that time it wasn't substantiated fact because they didn't have Van Varenberg and they didn't have the photos. So actually, perhaps I was too harsh on him. Technically, he wasn't correct. He wasn't incorrect because a lot of people did dispute that. So I guess he chose his words carefully there. My apologies, Sensei Seagal.
You still fine?
Yes, I do.
You still dangerous?
The way I look at it, it's like this fish. People saying, well, I shouldn't eat the fish because the fish is, you know, an important sentient being, and it's true. And I did learn a lot of the mystical things that he was teaching that nobody else seemed to understand.
Right now, Anderson is perfect. He's in great shape. He's ready. I've been training the hell out of him.
You know, it takes the IQ of a mature caterpillar to know the difference between the staff and the dancers. You understand?
I want that bar bitch to dance for me, so fuck you.
Many of them do, and many of them don't.
Do you believe you're still as fast as you were even 10 years ago?
Maybe faster.
Fuck you, puta.
It's an embarrassment to the human race, and it's an embarrassment to the martial arts.
Intel has really shown us unequivocally and absolutely that Rivera is joining forces with the Islamic fundamentalists.
In another life, would you have chosen to be a mixed martial arts fighter?
Nah.
Not for you?
We believe in keeping, all of this as secret as we can, and
I want results, or I'll take these fucking rose clippers and bury them in somebody's motherfucking eye.
some people have sour grapes, some people have jealousy.
Where'd you teach that? Where'd you learn that?
Where did I learn it? Well, I learned it, sort of a variation of that in Japan probably 30, 40 years ago. I grew up in a very, very dangerous area, an area that was all gangsters, yakuza, fighting every day.
Closing here, can anybody beat John Jones, or do you think he's going to have the belt for a long, long time?
I think he's going to get beat very soon. I think he'll get beat repeatedly.
And for people that said Seagal was wrong, I mean, you got the first Gustafsson fight. You got the Dominic Reyes fight. The first Gustafsson fight is so blatantly a win for I mean, it's just so blatant. I mean, see, the same way that John Jones won the second fight blatantly, Gustafsson won the first fight blatantly. And then also the Reyes fight was quite blatant. I have no idea how anybody scored that for Jones. Absolutely no idea. And yeah, I know he finished Gustafsson, but even before the finish, like he was just owning that fight, like he was just winning the fight. Whereas in the first fight, Gustafsson was just winning the whole time. He just didn't finish him, but yeah. So I don't know. I think that's two pretty obvious losses.
What took you, man? I've been waiting up here all this time. I was starting to get kind of lonely, man.
You mentioned on the show when you were on with us that you have taught him something that we've never seen before.
About 2 or 3 things.
Two or three?
Stuff that we thought was maybe illegal that's not illegal, and stuff like that. I'm a Russian Mongol, and I'm Russian. My father was a Russian Mongol, so these people are Russian Mongols. So, Mom, I'm in the middle of an interview, and the interview guy wants to know if you're proud of Lyoto Machida. Is it okay if I take a picture of him and I together on my phone?
Was that how you expected the main event to go? John Jones submitting Rampage, really? Why so? A lot of people weren't thinking that he was actually going to submit him.
Pretty good eye. I'm a warrior, and that's in my blood.
Yeah, you're gonna bend over and I'm gonna stick my size 14 up your ass.
Many people consider me, one of the great masters in my own field.
Beeline.
It wasn't until I was probably 16 or 17 before I started getting dangerous enough that if people wanted to start something, that they even, if they were bigger and better, they were going to get hurt too. And then from there.
Did you ever kill anybody?
Oh, man. So when I came back to America.
Wow, he dodged that so quick. Wow. I forgot about that clip. I think we went over that in the Seagal series as well. He dodged that so fast. So fast.
America.
Machina's better over here. I told you to put it in.
Nice.
Gato.
Seagal appreciates a proper watermelon. Who doesn't? Who doesn't? I wonder where Seagal ranks all time in identifying the perfectly ripe watermelon. Like, are his skills amongst the all-time greats in tapping watermelons?
I've saved many people's lives during Katrina in Louisiana. I was there.
And I love it because everybody always says he lies about everything. And then we went over the receipts. He was there. We got the photos and everything.
Storm, I'm sorry about Celine. Billy Joe killed her, and I took care of him my way. He won't be up on appeal. You've been a great partner. I know my methods are unconventional, but hell, that's how I caught Lazarus. Take his confession for me, would you? I'll look you up one day.
Be cool and stop getting into trouble, you hear me? All right? I said, look, you know, you got a young wife, she's pregnant. I said, why don't you get out of selling drugs and just, you know, get into something legitimate and get straight. I'm a musician, as you know.
Yes.
What a phenomenal musician at that. A phenomenal musician at that. One of the greatest songs of all time, Girl, It's Alright, by Steven Seagal. Looks like they play his music videos on Russian TV quite frequently. Like, is that the equivalent of like MTV in America and they just play Seagal music? It's a great music video as well. Fair use, obviously. I mean, look at all of this fair use going on. So much fair use.
Kind of a guy, and he had wanted to meet me. He had heard that I have great shooting skills, and so somehow we got together and I demonstrated my skills, and I showed my shooting skills and my martial arts skills to, you know, several different SWAT teams, and they were duly impressed. And, you know, at that point, Harley asked me if I would come on to the force, and
We can make this over right now. Let me tell you something, you do have a choice, and you're not gonna sign those papers. Where's the drop?
Hey, get him, Johnny! Get him!
Can you demonstrate, you know, for us here? So I demonstrated, everybody was kind of, you know, awestruck because they... Probably we're gonna have to just wait it out.
You ain't have to worry about him, brother. Get down.
The Zen masters in Zen archery, they don't...
Oh, I think this is the clip. Is this the clip where he's gonna set the match on fire? Greater Parrot says, can I request a reaction here? Yeah, sure. We're just finishing up this video, and then, yeah.
Pull the arrow.
Fair use, obviously. Look at all this fair use going on.
Push the arrow. It's the same with that pistol. See how it goes right where I want it? Well, in Asia, you know, as you know, I studied the martial arts and taught the martial arts over there. I also was involved in special security operations.
How's the view?
Special security operations. Is that CIA independent contracting?
What the fuck are you doing in my place?
This is one of the funniest Seagal beatdowns. You know, for a Buddhist pacifist, I mean, Seagal is quite violent in his movies.
Listen to me. Get up. Why? Yeah. Come on, White Crash.
I think I can be very...
That was like Walker, Texas Ranger level replays.
Very funny. Everyone who knows me thinks I can be very funny. I'm a writer too, and I really don't like these stories too much. And he said, well, what have you got in mind? And a story that was kind of loosely based on the Iran-Contra scandal, which nobody really knew about then.
Right.
Hey, babe, what's happening? What's on your mind, baby?
Oh, did I finish the story or did I get distracted? So in our Seagal series, we actually did go over one receipt where someone did fight Seagal, but they didn't step to him and swing on him. It was an agreed upon challenge. It was some kind of, was it like an Iranian security guy or something like that? I went over the whole story, and Seagal actually, I think Seagal made him sign a release form. And then they went at it, and Seagal hospitalized the guy. And the guy did an interview, and he said Seagal actually ended up paid for all his medical bills after that as well. So this was some kind of like young, you know, some young security guy. And Seagal would have been in his... Actually, I don't know. I don't remember the year, because if Seagal was still doing security, I don't know. That would have been... Because he didn't... I don't know how long he did security work for into his Hollywood career, unless he was some kind of security consultant or something like that. But, yeah, this was well after he left Japan then, I would assume. He was doing security, I think it was for some kind of, like, sheik or princess or prince or something from an Arab country, and one of the bodyguards wanted to test Seagal. Yeah, we went over that receipt in the Seagal series, if anybody's interested to check that. But he didn't swing on Seagal. It was like a respectful challenge, and then he said Seagal paid his hospital bills afterwards. I don't know why this clip is so hilarious. Like, look at his face.
Now? Nope. Don't mention it, brother.
Which one movie of yours would you hope survived?
It'd probably be On Deadly Ground because of the speech in the end, which, you know, is exactly what Al Gore did, you know, 18 years later, then he got an Academy Award and a Nobel Peace Prize for. I was a little ahead of my time.
I know it sounds like bragging or whatever, but Steven Seagal is just laying out the facts. I mean, it's true.
Man, what kept you, Vic? You still sore about that 50 bucks shaft?
Who the fuck are you?
All the old senpai, all the old, you know, Kyokushinkai masters were there. And they saw me come in. This was like chilling. And they, oh, you know, he's here, he's here. And they made me come and sit with the other masters, and they introduced me as their senpai.
Are you really as good as they all say you are?
Every once in a while.
The one and only Steven Seagal. Alright, who requested a reaction or something? What else you guys want to go over? Are we done with Seagal? I can go Seagal for 20 more hours, but I don't think anybody else wants to. There's no shortage of Steven Seagal content. Alright, Greater Parrot, you wanted to request a reaction? Do it now. Do it now. We're wrapping this one up. We've been going over Seagal for almost an hour and a half. Austin MP wants the Chael Sonnen and Anderson Silva rib interview. Oh, man. I don't feel like digging that up. I think we should do a dedicated Chael Sonnen podcast, because we could have a lot of great laughs there. I can't believe we went over Seagal for 90 minutes. Wow, that felt like 5 minutes. I mean, there's just so much greatness. Is anybody out there that still doubt the greatness of Seagal? The most accomplished human being living today. The only thing Seagal's missing is a podcast. Steven Seagal should start his own podcast. Can you imagine? Wow, I mean, he knows everybody. He'd have unlimited guests. He knows more people than Joe Rogan. Greater Parrot, Woodward TV recent video on Tartaria. Well, that's definitely a departure in subject matter. Oh, also, Steven Seagal, I think, was the one who first brought forward the interdimensional Yeti theory. The one from 8 days ago? That's just a couple-minute video. Does it actually bring anything new, or is it just... I mean, it kind of seems pretty generic. Yeah, this looks very generic. Yeah, I don't think I just skipped through it a little bit. I mean, it's pretty generic. The only thing jumped out at me is that Satan wants us to think we're living in a different time period than we actually are. Oh, the 1329? Let's see. Oh, yeah, that's the one I was going over. Yeah, I mean, it looks pretty generic. There doesn't appear to be... I mean, I'll go over it again later, but I'm not going to go through the whole video right now. Jeff UNP says, straight out of MK, get over here in Mortal Kombat. Jeff UNP says, Seagal, reptile, too much skills. I don't know, man. Who's ready for Steven Seagal's comeback movie, Order of the Dragon? Is there a release date yet? Supposedly he did all of his own stunts and everything. Let's see if there's a release date yet. Ron Smorenberg from Who Am I of Jackie Chan fame. So, they're done filming and all that. Yeah. Yeah, there's no date here. So, would think this year, but we'll see. Michelle Kesey is also in it, kickboxer himself. Michael Paré, also in it. And Viking Samurai, David Kurzal. All in the latest Steven Seagal movie, Order of the Dragon. Actually, David Kurzal just did a movie with Lou Ferrigno. Hard Redemption. That's interesting. I don't know how big his role is. Possibly a small role, but yeah. All right. So that's what we have for this live Q&A. People talking about consciousness in the chat. All right. Well, hope everybody enjoyed another edition of MindShock Live Q&A. I will try to get to the Oklahoma City podcast possibly within the next few days. So I'm compiling all of that. I do want to release that soon. So thanks again, everybody, for joining us. If you want to help support the podcast, you can donate to our PayPal. Check the link in the description. Make sure you subscribe, like, and share. Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, and Patreon. This is Bruce McGuire signing off. Catch you guys next time.